Welcome to Didedi's Crafty Corner. My name is Diane, and I'm so glad you stopped by. Hi guys, today we're going to be playing with this little stamp set, this floral set right here. I cannot remember the name of it. We're going to be using VersaFine, Saltwater Taffy Distress Oxide, Abandoned Coral, a couple of brushes, one little paintbrush. We're also going to be using VersaFine ink, and we're going to be using embossing, clear embossing powder as well. So this is going to be a sympathy card. Um, Getting to that age where we got to have it, right? It seems like more and more often. I am also filming with a new mic today, and I'm not sure how I like it, so we're going to have to just kind of see what happens with it. I've speeded this up just 2 times because I wanted to chit chat while I did it. We're going to go ahead and get it pressed down. That one corner, man. There, we got it. And then we're going to add our powder to it. Also, I'm going to be using this little tiny with sympathy stamp. We're just going to go ahead and stamp that on, taking a chance, and doesn't work great for me because you can see the S needs a tiny little bit of touch up. Not to worry, no problems. One little pin going to be taken care of. We don't have to worry about that. So let's just continue on. I'm going to be using clear embossing powder by Ranger. And I probably should have brought out a coffee filter here, but I was like, let's just do it. Also today I am sitting at my journaling table, and that outlooks the gorgeous South Florida scenery outside. Um, green trees, palm trees, neighbors' houses, so forth like that. But it's a very lovely place for me to do my journaling. And that is where I'm doing this voiceover. Um, so I have already put the powder on, and we're going to go ahead and grab the heat tool. And I use the Wagner heat tool. I've had it forever and it works great. So guess what? We're going to keep it forever as long as it works, right? I had, when I did this video, it was supposed to go up yesterday. When I listened to it before I posted it, all you could hear was the beep, beep, beep and the yelling from the people installing the fiber out front. They were digging up my yard. They dug up everybody's yard, but they were in front of my house when I filmed this, and I could not get rid of that noise. Um, so it was so bad, I just decided that I would do a voiceover, and I would do that today. So today is Sunday, and this will be going up as soon as I get the voiceover finished. So we're going to be using these two colors, and I'm putting it on the little paper so I can make sure that I'm going to get the effect that I think I'm going to get, and it looks good. So we're going to go ahead with the saltwater taffy, which is the lightest. Now I'm pointing out, yeah, I'm going to use a pen there, don't worry. Don't worry, it's going to look fine at the end. That's what I'm telling you. So I'm the technique here. Okay, so the technique is for this to be easy breezy, to look watercolored, to go outside of the lines is perfectly okay for this kind of a thing. In fact, you can do that all the way around if you would like. If that makes you feel better about doing this technique, do a soft little color all the way around your floral, right? It's not going to matter. Now, the only reason we embossed this was because I wanted my black lines not to get faded out by the Distress Oxide. Because of the properties in the Distress Oxide, we can lose our super black line, right? So if you do your embossing over it, then you can kind of wipe that ink off the black lines and still get a pretty good black line. So that's what that's why we did that. So this technique is to look watercolored, to look a little free and easy, to be a little easier than maybe getting your markers out and coloring it. Now, time-wise, I got to tell you, I spent just as much time on this floral as I would have spent coloring it with markers. That's the truth. The amount of time was about the same for me. Okay. So take that into consideration. This may not be the not the easiest. It's super. I mean, it is the easiest way, but it's not going to take any less time, I don't believe, right? Now, the idea is also you want to have some shading and some white spots. So I'm not even going around to all of the edges because that more white that shows through, the better the image is going to look at the end, okay? So I'm using only these two colors, and then we're going to bring in some greens and do the leaves. Now, also, if there is an area where you may not like where you've colored outside of the line, a little heavy or something like that, right? You can go in later with a white Prismacolor pencil or a white Crayola pencil, which, by the way, they do a wonderful job for this because they're super creamy and super soft. They won't make any pencil marks on the paper. That's a true story, so you can check that out if you want to. And you can kind of color over the little areas that you went out that you want to soften up. But it is perfectly acceptable to color outside of the lines on this type of project, right? It's super acceptable. So don't worry about it. Just do it. It's fun, right? And you're using a stamp you haven't used. You're using inks that you haven't brought out recently. Just have fun. Have fun. I've got it on my craft mat because, I don't want to mess up my new black mat. That's all there is to it. I just don't want to mess it up. I love it so much being crisp and new. Okay, so it's about time to bring in our greens. Peeled paint is the color I chose for my green leaves. And I think yellow lemon, squeezed lemonade, that's what it's called, is what I chose for the tips or the brightness. Now, I really wanted there to be brightness on these leaves. I really did. I wanted there to be, I knew going in the middle with this orange flower would make it kind of a, sunflower kind of color in the middle instead of bright yellow, and that's what I was looking for. But I want there to be some brightness on the tips or throughout these leaves. I didn't want them to be just that one color of peeled paint. I did want it to have a little bit of dimension. So you'll see on this leaf is where I'm going to go out here in a minute. And why I mixed up my brushes, I don't know. But isn't that pretty? It's just a nice little wash of color. There's no reason to get, it looks good. But see the green on that top leaf? I'm going to fade that out a little bit with a pencil as well as a little bit of that second flower as well. So here's where I'm going to bring in a paintbrush. Now for me, taking my ink and putting it on the paintbrush and going down the stem is just perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I'm going to come in on those little details and the little leaves here because it just, why not? It makes it easy, right? That, like I said, the technique is to look a little messy and a little washed. That's a good word. Washed, right? I'm going to go over my leaves a little bit, and then I'm going to just take the paper towel, wipe it down, and just a little bit. See, I was trying to play around there and it didn't quite work. But you'll see in that picture at the end, I used the white pencil technique, and it worked very well. It left a little bit of color, which is what I wanted without it being too dark of a color. And I thought if I just put a little bit of wet water, I could kind of make this a little better, but it didn't work. It did not work at all. Not at all. And that's okay. All right. So today I told you, I told you I'm sitting in my crisscross chair, right? It makes noise. It won't be something I do in the future. I'll sit or stand somewhere else because a crisscross chair it does make some noise, but it is very lovely to sit in. I'm not going to lie. And I journal over here and just absolutely love it. So I'm going in just making the darker spots just a little bit darker, and we're almost done with this card. I'm going to come back in and soften everything up at the end with that same bigger brush. Um, See, I'm wiping it off on the paper towel, and then I'm just going to kind of come in and just blend. Just blend it all out everywhere. Just blend. And if a little bit of color went past, that was exactly what I wanted. I wanted just there to be a little bit of shadow around the flowers, right? Again, I come in with this water. It didn't do a thing. I don't know. Is it me? I'm beginning to think it's me. It didn't do a thing. Maybe my colors just aren't dark enough. But see, there's nothing. There's absolutely no specks, no nothing. I got no effect from that water whatsoever, and I don't even know why. All right, we're going to go over it a little bit more. So, as I told you, I had to do a voiceover because of the noise. Here's my little pen. It's a little .01. Works perfect. Bringing out the Spellbinder dies again. I'm going to take a size to cut this down. We're going to take a card that's a size from the B side, and then we're going to take a panel from the A side for the panel that's going to be behind this. So now I'm just trying to figure out where I want it positioned, and I went ahead and cut off part of that green up on the top. Not that I didn't like it, but I was always going to cut off the top anyway. I think that's why I was being a little careless. And I just want it to be straight. I wanted it to be a little white after the sympathy. And we're going to cut it out real quick. Or at least I thought it was real quick. Probably could do a little better job at the editing. I did download the, what is it called? The Pro whatever for the iPad. I'm going to learn that over the course of the next week, and we're going to try that out too. It could be a little easier. I also feel like I'm not talking as loud as I normally do. Maybe that's because my husband's in the house. I don't know. I'm sure whatever that's about, it'll go away. Isn't this color perfect? It just made this card pop. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I believe this is a color by Lawn Fawn. The name of the color is escaping me, but we're going to take this panel. I was just checking it with another piece to make sure it was the same color because I only have one more piece left. So I'm going to have to try to find more because I'm realizing as I was doing this how much I love that color. All right, so we're going to take it. We're going to cut it out. Make a panel. Perfect. Look at this. Pretty, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to put my dies away, which is something I've been getting very good at, and I'm sitting here thinking what to use, glue or tape? Glue it was. So back to the Barely Art glue, I'm going to glue down the bottom, and then just jig-jag it, just go all the way around, and I'm going to place that on there. As straight as I can get it. Looks good to me. And then we're going to put our little panel on there. I'm going to use tape for that, and I think I show you the tape here. Yeah, I got this from Amazon. I've had it for 2 years, so it was huge. It was absolutely huge when I got it. So I am using it. It's just not going down quite as fast as I thought it would. I like it just fine. It works fine. I thought we would pop this one up and use the tape. The tape works great, so there's no issues with that. I've even used the tape, the double-sided tape from the Dollar Tree. That worked great. So, use what you got, right? It doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference at all. So I know I'm a little bit off camera here, but I had to move it to do it. Sometimes that's the way it is. Okay, isn't it pretty? Now I'm going to pull out something that I don't use very often at all. All of these pretty colors of Nuvo. I popped it up so you could see it there. I haven't used them in forever, and I've got so many pretty colors. So I decided, let's play with it. That's what this is all about, guys. This year, I'm going to upload, play, touch, show you every single thing in this craft room. And, if I find something that I don't want anymore along the way, we'll destash it. We'll do it right then and there while I have it on the video, right? That little plopping down just makes the point go away and makes it a little dot, right? Very pretty. I think this card turned out super cute. Like I said, Maybe not quite as fast as coloring it. Maybe it's about the same time, but it was adorable and I enjoyed every second of it. All right, guys, I love you and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.